Now, the next person I want to bring up, I'm going to leave. I want to bring her up right now. I'm so happy she's here, and she's a longtime friend of mine. I want to introduce all of you to Miss Claudia Restrepo. This is for you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
All right, so Claudia, we've known each other, I think it's probably about 15 years or something like that.
Yes.
Would be. Claudia is from Miami, and she came down here to support us and help us, which is always so wonderful. I want to start though. I got to start with Colombia.
Okay.
I love this, and not just coming over. I want to hear like what we talked about by the pool the other day, where we were talking about. I want to just a little brief thing about Pablo Escobar. I love it.
What part of that do you want me to say? I am from Colombia.
Yeah.
What about Pablo Escobar you want me to say?
Why'd you leave Colombia? Part of that. I like the danger path.
The danger part. Well, I was in the era of Pablo Escobar being very active, where you would go to a mall, let's say, and you didn't know if a bomb will explode or not. Where when we were kids, if you were on the streets by 9 p.m., you will have to be in house, otherwise whoever came in a very fast motorcycle could just be shooting you because they assumed you were the bad guys, but they were the bad guys. Right before I came to the United States, there was a bomb in front of our condo. And I thought my mom, my sister, and my family was there because that was a place that we used to go constantly. So it's just, I don't know, it's safer here.
Fair enough.
It feels better here. And I do love this country, I love the structure of this country, so yeah. Now, some people will make jokes about those shows, and have you seen Narcos? I'm like, no, I live Narcos. Can't watch that. Can't take me back over there. I know.
And then I like the story about how you ended up where you ended up when you came over. This is my favorite thing.
So I, at some point, my sister and I decided that we wanted to go learn English somewhere else. And my sister was looking to go to Australia, and I am not very good with geography, as you're gonna see. I thought, well, I'm not gonna go to Australia with her. Like, we're gonna be there together. Australia was a little country, right? But I'm going somewhere else. So I started looking for places to go learn English. This place, I went to an office, and this place said, look, you can go to London, you can go to Canada, or you can go to the United States. And outside the United States, a lot of people do not like the United States. And I was, taught by my aunts, no United States, and I didn't want to come to the United States. But London seemed to be like a lady openness school in their garage, and they were teaching English in their garage. So I was like, nah, I don't think that's gonna be good. Canada was too far north and too cold. So I'm like, okay, I guess United States it is. And they offered me I had $1,000 to pay for the school and live for up to 6 months if I could manage that money. And they offered me University of Alabama, University of Philadelphia, and Eastern Washington University. So I thought in Alabama, since it's right by Florida, everybody speaks Spanish. So I didn't learn English. That wasn't the case. I said Philadelphia is expensive. So I said, I want to go to Eastern Washington University, and I signed up the application, and I was doing everything pretty much ready to go to get my visa, and I asked them, so how far is Spokane from the White House? Oh. And they were like, how far? I'm like, what? I'm going to Eastern Washington University, and they're like, the other Washington? Like, there is another Washington. Yes, there is. So, yep. I went, okay, I don't know anybody in Washington, D.C. anyway, might as well go to the other Washington that is right by Canada, north and cold. So I ended up in Spokane, Washington.
I haven't heard that in so long. I love that.
So, I think it's the best mistake that I could ever make. Yeah, and then I asked them, so how far is Spokane? I said, well, that's where Seattle is, right? And they're like, yeah. How far is Seattle from Spokane? About an hour. So at this point, I had a company in Colombia. So at this point, I thought, since my goal was to bring the company to the United States, it's a flower business, I'm gonna just go get a job in Seattle. I'm gonna do my English classes, I'm gonna get in a bus, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna go to Seattle, get a job, and come back. Yeah, Seattle is an hour by plane. And I learned that once I was in Spokane. I'm like, oh, there goes the plan. So yeah, that's how I ended up here.
Okay, so yeah. So then she goes to, she basically goes to Canada. And so at that point, you didn't have much, right? I mean, you went to college and nothing.
I literally, I was told that with a student visa, you are allowed to work 20 hours a week within campus. And I was in Colombia, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna buy this kit. I'm gonna make a kit of all the utensils that you need to do manicures and pedicures. Because if I'm gonna get there, who knows when I'm gonna learn, get a job. Worst case scenario, I can just do manicures and pedicures. And I got to the dorm, and I was lucky enough to have a room by myself. My roommate, who was most likely from Korea, never came. So I had a room by myself. And I was on the 10th floor of the only two buildings that were more than 2 stories. And I saw in the very first week in the elevator, like a board that people were offering something, so, like the paper, we offered that, give us our phone number, and the little pieces, right? You followed me? So I was, great, I'm gonna do the same thing. And I said, pedicures, manicures. I had a phone number in the room, the phone number, and I did the little thingy, and I posted everywhere. So literally after a week, I didn't even speak a thing of English, but I have to survive. So I did pedicures and manicures in my dorm for like 2 months, and that's how I practice English with people, right? Can you say that again? Can you say that again? Can you say that again? So I did that because technically I was supposed to work in campus. So I went to the office that said, okay, if you want to work, come here. So I went there, and they said, you need to have a social security number. And I said, okay, here's where my vector code is going to come out. But in order to get the social security number, you need to have a letter that says that you already got like an application of a work job in the university. And I said, okay, go to this office. I go to the office of the job, works, whatever, job inside the university. And I go there, and they're like, yeah, but in order for you to apply, you need to have a social security number. And I'm like, really, people? Like, I can't clearly not, right? So I'm like, no vector 4 over here. Went to the job office another day in an afternoon, but there was a guy, not a girl. And at this point, I needed more information. Well, you have a social security number. You know how it takes like 4 weeks? Yeah. It should arrive. I went like 4 weeks ago. It should be in the mail. I really need a job. Can you just help me, please? Be nice, blah. He goes, yeah. Just go to this. There is an interview today. You want to do this? I'm like, absolutely. I went to the teacher. He signed that I interview. Obviously, I never took that job because I didn't have a social security number. But now I took that paper, went to the other lady, and I said, here it is. And she looked at me like, huh. You figured it out. It is the letter. Well, it took 4 weeks to get the social security number, so that's what I was doing, pedicures and manicures, I couldn't work inside. So I was indeed. I was like, I'm gonna just keep here waiting for the factory to do that. And that's the beginning of this.
I love it. And then, okay, so for real so I'll fast forward. I don't need to fast forward too much. I love what you did in Washington with your real estate team. So you built up your real estate team in Washington.
So I was working at Bank of America, and I decided that I didn't want to work anymore. On my feet, 8 hours a day, asking for permission to go to the bathroom, making $900 a month before this. At some point, somebody told me the poverty line in Spokane is like if you make $15,000 or less. That's when I was like, I am pretty poor. Because I was making way less than that.
What year was that? What year?
2003.
2003. Okay.
2003. So I decided to ask what does it take to get a real estate license, because in Colombia, I somewhat helped a boyfriend to launch a real estate company. Like, it's different, right? So like in Colombia, it's a boutique with 2 agents and that with a real estate company. And I was, what I now know, cold calling for him when he was in Bogota. And I didn't know that's what I was doing. I was just calling people. So I asked, how do you do? What do you do? And I got my real estate license. And I started doing real estate in 2005. And then I learned that you actually can become a business and not just be a sales agent. And that to me was the best thing ever, because then, okay, I'm going to build a business. And in 5 years, I'm gonna either sell it or replace myself. And 2007, I launched I got my business license in 2005. I was like a single agent, buyer's agent for about 2 years. And 2007, November 2007, I launched the Legacy Group, right as the market was crashing. In 2008, completely buyer's market, 8 months of inventory. We sold 120 homes, and then I built a team that in 5 years later, I replaced myself. I hired a wonderful human to be the CEO of the company, and I moved to Miami.
Hear that? Finally got to Miami where she needed to be.
Yeah. And I moved to Miami.
And that was 2000, what was it, 8?
That was 2013. When I replaced myself, 2012, I moved to Miami 2013.
Right.
So 5 years later.
Right. So this didn't happen overnight either. Notice that? It was, and there's a lot, it wasn't that smooth, and it wasn't for Eric either. I mean, there's lots of ups and downs. It's like 3 steps forward, 2 back,
Absolutely.
3 forward, 2 back, huge headaches, personnel problems, all those things. But then you got to a place where when she says she replaces herself, what it means is she's actually stepping out of production, right?
I actually stepped out of production. So I started 2007. In January of 2008, I said, I cannot work with buyers anymore because I am the manager, I'm hiring agents, I'm coaching agents, I'm training agents, I'm running the admin. I had a great admin person, but I'm working on the business versus in the business a lot. So I got out of production with buyers in 2008. In 2010, I got out of production of sellers. I was making cold calling expires, but I would not be going to the listing appointments, even doing the listing presentation. I would train my agents to do that. And then eventually, I had enough incoming leads for sellers, and my agents were calling enough that I didn't even have to make any more phone calls.
I don't know Spokane, but I want to knock out some limiting beliefs here. There can't be a lot of Colombians running around in Spokane. I'm thinking there's not a lot of anything but like white guys, yeah.
So Bruce Hardy is one of my mentors, and he's from Australia, and he's in Spokane. So I used to tease him that him and I were the only people with accents in this
Yeah, but
city.
he's Australian.
I
I mean,
know.
that's just people melt when they hear Australia. They're like, oh,
He doesn't have an accent. Just I was one of the few Colombians. And honestly, at this point, at the beginning, I thought I spoke English, but then I would find myself like, what did this person just say? Like, lost in translation. I didn't know Spokane because I had just moved to Spokane. I've been there 2 years. I only had to go from the university to the campus and then eventually to the bank. So when I started showing homes, at this point, we didn't have the GPS that we have today. So I would grab a map, and I would map going from house 1 to house 2. Literally. Take the right in this street, take the left in this street, and then I would map the whole route. And I would show house number 1, and the buyer's like, no, let's just keep number 2. I'm like, oh.
I don't want to go for 2.
Number 3. So I went to number 2 just to get number 3. I'm like, go from 1 to 3.
I don't know how to go straight there.
But I would be like, did you just drive? And I'm like, yeah, I just want to make sure you didn't like the outside. Whatever. I needed to get the other house. Yeah, no, it wasn't his lesson, being real, that stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Yeah, but I mean, think of that. I mean, guys, for those of you who have a limiting belief about how you talk, how you look, how you sound, how you fit in, whether it be, any type of demographic or any type of behavioral pattern or anything, man, seriously.
I will tell you this, having an accent is the best asset. And I took it this way. They have to pay attention to me so they can understand me. I got their undivided attention. Slow down a little, but it doesn't matter. And it's true, yes.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is freaking amazing. Okay, so she lets go. She replaces herself. Okay, she replaces herself. And mind you, she's not like a broker owner. She is a sales agent growing her own business, like all of you, within another brokerage. She's replaced herself. She's not no buyers, no listings anymore. Working on leadership, looking at someone to be leadership. You found that person in 2010, did you say? Or
I met him in 2010. No, let me see. 2011. And I started interviewing him, going through the process of, are you the right person? because my intention was, I'm replacing myself with an amazing CEO that can take over, that I can leave Spokane and I don't have to go back. So yes, about 14 months in the process. I wasn't in a rush, I was gonna replace myself. So 2012, I celebrated year number 5 with him already working for us for 6 months, my partner and Claudia has a ticket to go to Miami in December. Like I had said, in 5 years I'm replacing myself. So John has taken over the legacy group. I did move to Miami, so I work with him. I mean, even today we talk half an hour every Friday. We have spoken half an hour every Friday for 9 years. At the beginning, obviously, more time, more often during the week, but I run the company with him, through him. Like even today, somebody asked me, so do you talk to your agent? I never talk to my anymore. Like I don't talk to my agents. I don't lead the staff. It's John. And John runs a lot of things by me. Or today, he's now a partner, because that was part of the agreement, to get the company to this point together, then you have an opportunity to be a partner with me. So now he's a partner, so now I even less have to do, but we have such a good relationship that even, like we talk all the time and he runs things by me. He doesn't want to do it alone. It's not like he's taking over and I don't have influence in my business, but I haven't been in Spokane in 3 years. So yeah, I replaced, it was obviously training him, leading him, showing him my vision, why do we do things the way we do. So for example, my agents claim their buyer's side in the MLS. So when he took over about a year later, he changed it because he thought Legacy Group should claim all the numbers. And one of my agents called me and I said, no. Reverse that, John. It is wrong. I want our agents to be able to celebrate their own business, to have the recognition in the MLS. We know how many transactions we do. But things like that, right? He will make a decision for the business that didn't understand at the time that we had made that decision differently for our people. So it was teaching him that, and now it's all
now he understands why. Right.
So it is, running the company through him,
right,
with him. But I don't have to be there.
Right.
So that I can do all the things.
You couldn't be further. You're really good. And again, imagine the map. Spokane, Washington State, all the way to Miami. That's and that's some good distance. That's been. And that. Not only did you hear a lot of people replace themselves, but replace yourself for like more than a decade, and it's still running strong to this day.
Yeah, very strong.
This strong, right? Yeah.
400 units.
400 units. In fact, running better without you.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I ran it. No, it's true. I ran it for 5. I took it to 250 transactions in 2 years, and year number 4, 250 transactions. Year number 5, 250 transactions. Literally a ceiling of achievement. I needed another human with another brain, with more other kind of capacity, with energy that I didn't want to do it anymore, to take the company to the next level. And that was one way for us to break that ceiling of achievement, which was to bring another person that actually does a lot of things way better than me.
Right.
Way better than me.
Yeah, I'm with you. See, here's some similarities here. They don't look alike and they don't sound alike. But there's a lot of similarities on the path to success, I can tell you that right now. So you're not just laying on the beach nowadays in Miami, right?
No.
So what'd you do?
I do not work that many hours, but I wish I was more on the beach. I run a brokerage in Miami. I also brought this brand to Colombia. But I became what I like to do is to coach and train and help agents build their own businesses. So I'm leading my companies through my leaders. So I have meetings with my leaders about the vision of the company, the strategies, who's going to execute it, put it in their play, they execute it. I inspect what I expect, hold them accountable, support them with anything that we need so the company grows. Colombia, I became the regional trainer for about 2 years, but I'm not involved as much anymore. I just go once in a while when I'm major training or something. I'm constantly just having relationships and conversations with my agents to help them grow their business like I did in Spokane.
And now you own a very large brokerage in Miami. How many agents are in that brokerage? 350 agents in her brokerage in Miami. Okay. While this machine is pumping out units up there, right? And you own this very large brokerage in Miami. What was the total production of that brokerage last year? Do you know?
I never think of volume. We closed like 1,400 transactions.
1,400
But
transactions.
Miami, our average sales price is, the office average sales price is almost 570,000.
Got it.
So kind of do the math.
How about,
there.
do you know the GCI number by any chance?
No.
I'm gonna put you on that.
Yeah, I know. 'Cause
I'll bet.
I think in units.
I bet you're getting close to a
units.
billion. I bet you're getting close to a billion
Yeah.
in GCI with your average price and
Yes.
1,400 units. That's big GCI, if you can imagine that. And running multiple businesses and not working. I mean, just to let you know, like I talked to Claudia last week, and she coaches another wonderful client of ours, and it's like, I was like, hey, could you come down? Claudia comes down for like 4 days, spontaneously with 1 week's notice, and she's been down here.
Yes.
Just has that type of flexibility with all that going on.
And I have two little babies. Well, 5 and 6.
Right.
Yeah.
5 and 6-year-old.
You know, I just have to, it's about, I think I texted you, the best word for me in English is leverage. Because it is the best thing that could ever happen to me. Understanding that when you find talent that can plug in your organization in the right role for them, not in any role, in the right role for them, that can take your organization to completely different levels. And you have to, as a leader, not only support them and coach them and lead them, but get out of the way. Get out of the way so that they can
Amen, sister. Amen. All right. I tell you, get out of the freaking way. I love that.
Yeah, get
Every coach is like, please listen to that client. Please listen to that. Because that's the hard. That is why you hire a coach. I swear, it's trying to get you to let go of that business.
Yes.
I love that.
Last year, I told my 2 leaders of the office in Miami, I said, listen, you're gonna get more out of me, but you're gonna see less of me. And they're like, what? And I said, I'm coming to the office Mondays for 2 hours. In 2 hours, we gotta discuss, we gotta plan, we gotta do anything that you need from me so you can execute for a week, and I'll see you next Monday. I'm taking a sabbatical, and I literally did that last year. And we had the best year ever, with the highest income ever, with everything. All the records were broken. And I was literally dancing and hanging out with my kids.
Wow.
So, but it took very purposeful 2 to 3 hours every Monday. No PS, no coffee pot issues, we're working. And I did a lot of training with them so that when I wasn't there, they could actually execute. So it's using your time for the best use of your time, right?
Right. That is amazing. It also, and your leadership here, I mean, it sounds like we're in a very strong leadership position in Miami as well, too.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like the leaders are the only people you're in communication with.
Those are the only ones that are in communication.
Are those weekly meetings with each of those? What does that look like?
I come to the office, I have my own coaching call. I have 2 or 3 coaches, so that's one. And at 10 a.m., we sit down, the 3 of us, one of the CEO, the other one is the director of operations, and we go through our numbers. What are the numbers? What's happening? Where are we? What do we need to do this week? They had just come out of all leadership meetings, so we have 10, and they have just gone through the numbers. What is important this week? What is the calendar this week? What needs to happen this week? Who we're meeting? Just the important key metrics that we need to make sure that we do something to move the needle. And then I do some coaching, depending on what we need, and then after that, that's about it. So we just kind of check during the week if I need something, if I have to specifically sit with the CEO for something specifically, or the director of operations, but we're really just going through our numbers and what is happening this week and how do you need me to help you execute the rest of the week.
Two things I got to unpack there. That's wonderful. The first one is she does some coaching. Isn't leadership coaching?
Yeah.
Aren't you coaching your leaders?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, helping them, coaching them, growing them. You know what I'm saying? So very important for your leaders to be coachable.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, they have to.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, they have to learn and listen that you got here for a reason and you're coaching, you're trying to help them succeed. If they succeed, they do more.
And by the way, each one of them, like the top leaders of my organization, each one has a coach. Like I invest on each one to have their own coach that helps them with their role in addition to me being in it with them. So yeah, they have to be coached.
And you yourself have coaches.
Yes.
Did you catch that one in there?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, if you're one of those people that says, well, I'm just not very coachable, or I'm just too determined, or guys, again, Kind of back to the warrior and a leader thing. Success leaves clues. You're hearing a lot of them here. Do you know many successful people that succeed at a high level without a coach? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's also your natural behavior, and you have a ceiling, and that's about it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
Yeah.
So understand, when the whole art of leadership in itself is coaching, right?
Yeah.
So becoming a good coach is important. Being coachable is important if you want to grow and become a leader. Both ways. Coaching is the new leadership. I mean, almost any leadership book you pick up nowadays will tell you that. If you're going to lead, you need to support. You need to appreciate, and you need to develop talent. Does that make sense? Leadership is not ordering people what to do.
No.
Leadership is developing people. Does that make sense? If you develop people, people will truly be coachable and receive what you're doing, so long as it's about them.
Absolutely.
So long as it's about them. And I think that's crucial. And you are a walking, talking testimonial to that. Claudia, thank you so much for inspiring all these wonderful people out here.